Business owners, you need to get the word out. Are you looking for brand exposure, business expansion, looking for new clients, hiring remotely for staff positions, or hiring new employees to open additional offices? Are you looking to advertise new projects, start business partnerships, or seeking new business opportunities? Do you need to highlight new upgrades, features, or products? Promote up-and-coming events, seminars, classes, or celebrate business anniversaries and achievements with the world? Now's the time to get your commercial featured on my show. Send me an email for package pricing, and let's grow and expand your business together.
How my journey began. It's graduation time. Family is very important to me, including my puppies. The Marine Corps played a huge role in my life and allowed me to be ambitious, inspiring, a mentor, and achieve all of my goals. As a financial expert, I've received multiple awards, done various events as a guest speaker all over the U.S. with my platform of creating healthy financial habits, along with having my own business, all leading up to my show. Come along for the journey.
Hello, Gems, and welcome. For the month of April, we will be discussing different services that entrepreneurs provide to the public. These services and the extra care they put into them set them apart from their competitors. Here are some statistics about the services our next guest provides. The most recent reports from the Bureau of Labor Statistics show that medical records information technicians, or as they're called medical coders, earn a median pay of $19.40 per hour, or roughly around $40,000 per year. So if you get into the top ranks of the profession, you could end up making easily more than $60,000 per year. One of the most difficult aspects of medical coding is knowing the thousands of codes from numerous code sets that are updated on a regular basis. It's important to know that medical coders don't actually have to memorize them all. They just have to know how to find the codes and how to implement them. Medical billing and coding careers offer the following benefits. You can work from home remotely. We all love that. Many healthcare providers outsource their work, so you don't need to work from a specific office or a location. And many billers and coders are independent contractors, so you can make your own hours and set your own schedule sometimes. There are no formal education requirements to become a medical coder. Most employers are seeking candidates with a post-secondary certificate, with some requiring an associate's degree. Now, for today's guest, she was born in Memphis, Tennessee. She wanted to be a psychiatrist growing up. She is inspired by Michelle Obama and Oprah Winfrey, two of my favorite women. Her favorite place to live and or vacation is anywhere near the beach. Y'all know I love the beach. I love it, I love it, I love it. And she currently resides in Birmingham, Alabama. Gems, let's welcome Lakisha Parker, and owner of Kisha Knows Coding, to the show. Hello, Kisha, how are you?
Hello.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So we'll just go ahead and get started. So how did your journey begin to the road of medical coding? Because I know you have a really, really unique journey. Tell us a little bit about that.
So my journey began when I met my husband, who was military, and I knew with him traveling that I was going to have to either be in the medical field or the education field. I chose the medical field, but I did not want that hands-on portion with the patients. So I landed in medical billing and coding, where we are on the back end of the medical field, instead of having to actually be hands-on like CNAs or nurses. So that's how the journey began.
Right. So you started medical coding initially from home?
Actually, no. So I went to school, graduated in 2002, and went to work for several different medical offices, internal medicine, pulmonary, anesthesia. And then my husband decided to get out of the military. He was driving trucks. I wanted to work from home. So I got into this field, got my certification, and decided, okay, let's go ahead and do this from home. Some kind of way I ended up being an education because there was an intermission with them having charts and having hired so many people. And then I found that I'm in a happy place when I am able to both educate and code at the same time.
Absolutely. So, what was your job at the college, and how did it, having that position, kind of help you into your future of medical coding? Because you had a really nice position there that allowed you to have the students. But tell us a little bit about that. Where was it, and like your position and everything?
Definitely. So I graduated from Virginia College and then turned around and worked at Virginia College
Yes.
part-time. Started out part-time, we ended up full-time, and then finally became program director. But I love teaching. So program director did not afford me the ability to be in the classroom as much as I wanted to be in the classroom.
Right.
And so I decided, okay, we've got to do something different so that I can do this love that I have.
Right, right. I completely understand that. Sometimes, we always end up working in a career field, which is good for us. We always want jobs, and you're teaching and everything, but it still doesn't have that nice taste of your purpose and what it is that you want to do.
Absolutely. And I truly believe that this is a purpose, because I'm a very, very happy place when I'm able to teach what I love, and I love coding. So
I love it. So a very unique situation happened when you went to Jefferson State College. Talk to us about that with the students, because they were loving them some Miss Parker. They're like, wait a minute now.
Right. So here's the thing. I'm teaching at the community college, and we get to a place where students are like, when is Miss Parker teaching? Because I've heard so much about her. And so, the Lord was like, well, if they requesting you, then you probably need to be doing your own thing. So Kisha Knows Coding was formed so that those students who were trying to get to me were able to get to me.
And I like that, because I always try to tell people, listen to your own tuition, listen to that voice that says, people want you. People are requesting you. This means something. This just isn't I'm a good teacher. Great. No, they're requesting you. And then kudos to you. I always say kudos for listening to that voice, because we all have it. But sometimes people ignore it till years later, but you heard it. And you was like, you know what? Right. And you're like, I'm going to do something with this. And then Kisha Knows Coding was established. So how did you start finding everything you needed to start the business? Because now I can do it. Let's go. So how do you kind of pull everything together?
Okay, so initially the business started, okay, we're just going to see how this goes.
Right.
So initially we were renting event centers, probably paying about $200 a week for event centers. And then finally we were like, okay, we got to get us a stable location. Every time I run a class, I'm in a different spot. And so I decided to lease a space in a building. And from there, everything really fell into place. There is a website for government deals, and I found the auction sites, and I bought desks for like really great desks, like 10 of them for like $100.
Yes.
I bought a TV screen to put on so that, I can show PowerPoints. I bought my chairs. The whole classroom setup was less than $500.
I love it. Because
me too. Look, me too.
I'm a proponent of discounts. Anybody that knows me knows I love a discount, because it doesn't take that much to start up a business if you do it right. You don't have to break the bank. You don't have to, empty out your pockets. And I heard you say that now that you're on a lease, about how much is your lease now? You have a 3-year lease, but how much is that? So they'll know, like, all the discounts that you have.
Right. So the lease is $600 a month, but my space is huge. People who look at the classroom are like, wow, it's a huge space because the building didn't have that many people in it.
Yeah.
Plus. So when I came in before the building got full, they just needed some people in the building. So I'm paying $600 a month. I have a setup of 7 chairs though, or 7 complete desks. I have my desk, and then I actually have space along the walls to probably expand to probably about 15 to 20 students if I wanted to do that.
Nice.
So it's a huge space. It is.
And it sounds like, not only is it budget friendly, but it gives you the opportunity to expand. Not a lot of times when we're renting out the spaces, sometimes we're just renting out the space and then finding another space. But this one actually offers you the opportunity to expand. So, once we as a country actually globally kind of get past the COVID-19 and vaccinations, if you wanted to have bigger classes and or expand any other kind of way, you actually already have the space to do that.
I do, because the vision is honestly to not only get them certified, but then to be able to employ them for a year to get them experience as well. So that was the whole purpose of having the classroom and having the classroom the size that it is, so that not only can we teach, but then also employ our students and give them some experience.
I love that. And then speaking of the course and employing them, so we're going to talk about the program. So how long is your course and what is the cost?
Okay, so the course in classroom is 12 to 16 weeks. So in less than 4 months, you can go through a complete certification course. The cost is $2,200, which is inclusive though. So when I say inclusive, I mean your textbook, your coding manuals. It is a requirement for you to have an AAPC membership for 1 year. That's included, as well as your certification exam. So that's you probably will not find that better cost anywhere.
That's a good bundle deal.
Absolutely. And it is, and then of course you get me. So all inclusive. And in 4 months, we do offer the actual exam in our classroom. So you're comfortable, this is where you've taken your courses. And I usually offer the exam about a month after we complete the course. So all inclusive, everything is included.
I like it. And then preparation for the exam to become a CPC. So tell us what a CPC means and what all the preparation that goes into that.
Okay, so Certified Professional Coder is the CPC. And so our course literally is focused on you being able to sit for the exam and pass the exam, because that's the most important part. Yes. Passing the exam. And so preparation requires those 16 weeks. We go through every piece of the exam, all of the information that you would need, not only to sit for the exam, but to be comfortable to be employed once you've completed this course as well.
Absolutely. And then I know we did that in class person to person with you, but for what are the individuals who want to do online, about how long is their pace as well?
So the online course is self-paced, which you have 6 months of access. And I say 6 months, but if you need more, then of course, we talk about that. But you have 6 months of access and you are able to move through the course at your pace at any time. All you need is a web access. I am still available though to the online students. I require that I talk to them at least once a week, max of bi-weekly. Just being in the education field, working at Virginia College, working at Jeff State, I know how students felt like online, they're just on this island by themselves. And I don't want that with my course. So although you're going through the course self-paced and online, I still like to reach out to my students so that you know that I am still available to you. Although you're not in person with me, I am still reachable. Of course, they have my cell phone number, they can text, they can call, all of those things. So online just gives them a little bit more flexibility versus having to keep up with the pace of the classroom and other students.
Absolutely. And then with the tuition, I know the 2,200 is all inclusive, but what are their
Mhm.
options for actually paying for it? Because I know a lot of people
So,
are interested in that. So tell them all the options and how they can kind of get to your course and get through the entire course from a financial
okay.
aspect.
So financially, the 2,200 may be a little steep, so we do offer payment plans. Payment plans are $400 monthly, with a minimum of $400 monthly, and then by midterm, we have the balance paid out. Of course, that's probably halfway through. It may be a little bit past that. And so we do offer payment plans. Of course, if you want to pay in full, by all means, you can do that, but the payment plans are an option, just because with everything going on, it's not easy to come up with $2,200. But it is an investment. I promise you, it could make a huge difference in your life.
Absolutely. So definitely, Gems, take that into heed. She's willing to work with you for funding. I know we're all coming
Mhm.
and still going through COVID-19. So 2,200 is steep. It's steep for a lot of us. I mean, the stimulus check was only 1,400. So yes, it's right. So it's definitely steep. And if you're definitely interested in, give her a call and work out the payment plan so that you can still get there, because once you're employed, it'll definitely reap the benefits for that.
Come
And
back.
especially like
Right.
going through the course, and you're getting a teacher who has the background in this and has the credentials, so it's definitely worth the cost. So I know a lot of things. This is one of the things that I had to find out, because I've heard the term medical coder before, but then I was like, well, what is that? Like, I don't know what it is. Do you crunch numbers like data? Or
Right.
then, those huge IT rooms with no windows and just clicking
Oh,
coding?
Lord.
So, right. So I
No.
kind of want them to explain to them what it is a medical coder does specifically.
Okay. Okay. So you go to the doctor, and we'll just use, anybody. Everybody goes to the doctor. And when you go to the doctor's office, most of us are sending our doctor's visits to the insurance company. Well, the medical coder is the person who gets the medical record. They transfer your physician's documentation into codes, and we have books for that. And so what we do is we translate those codes, we submit your information to the insurance company for reimbursement. And depending on where you are, you may be the one to also post the payments from the insurance companies, do some follow up, because insurance companies don't like to pay. And so you may be the one that has to call the insurance companies and see why they didn't pay us. And so that's pretty much what we do. We're the ones, again, on the back end, where we're not seeing patients, we're not touching patients, we're doing paperwork. And these jobs are not going anywhere, because doctors just want to see their patients and get paid. The in between part, they don't know nothing about it. They don't care. They just want to know, okay, I saw this patient, I got paid for this patient. So medical coders and billers that's what we do. We translate that information and send that over to the insurance companies for reimbursement.
Gotcha. And that makes sense. So not only does someone they really have to like coding, but a little bit of the administrative part of it as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, definitely. The most contact that we normally would have with patients is maybe to call and say, your insurance is saying that you have another insurance. But that's pretty much it. If we're in an office, then we're probably in a cubicle or in office with other coders. I personally work from home. So not only do I teach this, but I also code every single day. And I do this from the comfort of my home in my pajamas. So,
Love it.
yes.
And speaking of the comfort of home, I love it, because I know I mentioned it in my intro with having, the opportunity to work remotely from home. So what jobs can a CPC look forward to having? So now you have it. And again, I was new to this. So I'm like, so where all can they go to work?
Okay, so many places. Anywhere that healthcare services are available, you as a coder can go and work. The dentist office, the ambulance companies, hospitals, doctors' offices. They even have travel coders, like they have travel nurses. Yes, so you can go and allow them to, pay per diem, pay for your travel, pay for your housing, just the same way that they would do a travel nurse. They also have travel coders as well. So you could go work for the insurance company that doesn't want to pay us, but you could go work for the insurance companies as well. So there is a plethora of places that you can go. There's no limit in this field. There really is no limit.
I like it. And you hit on another thing too. I said in the beginning about being a floater, a medical coder, because I said they could be
Hmm.
independent contractors. And I'm
Hmm.
familiar with that. And James, I just want to let you know, being an independent contractor is one of the best things. Because, like Lakisha said, you can literally float around from business to
Yes.
business, from this doctor's office to this dentist person to that medical coder, and just giving them your services. But you're still getting, like you said, the per diem if you're traveling far away, and if you need overnight hotel, because they're like, we need you to come back tomorrow, fix it. So there's so many opportunities in that. I'm loving that. So, what are
Yes.
some of the benefits about being a medical coder and enrolling in your course?
Okay, so as a coder, the flexibility for me is why or how I ended up in this field. So again, of course, all of those different job opportunities are there. You don't have to get stuck in a rut. There's so many different specialties that you could go to, so many different places you can go. And then for me personally, this is personal for me. Just because I started out as a student, and I look at things a little differently than maybe somebody who's just a teacher. My personal experience kind of gears me towards everything is personal. Every one of my students becomes part of the family. I care about every single one of them. I want you to be successful. I probably want you to be more successful than you want you to be more successful sometimes. And so I push and I try to give you all my personality. And so that's pretty much, the difference, I think, is the personality. Me reaching back to my students. I have students from years ago, probably 15 years, that are still in contact with me right now, just kind of keeping me up to date, letting me know about jobs where they are for my other students coming up.
Yeah.
So I love everything about this. I love the teaching, the coding, everything. So
And we hit on another one of those things, but I definitely wanted to come back to it. Is for my gyms, this is a great opportunity for you to be in the medical field, but not be
oh yes.
around the patients. Maybe like if you don't want to touch, the blood, if you don't even like saliva, if you don't like none of that from anybody else, this is a good right. Because I mean, there's people like that. Some people are like,
Yes.
I really like to go into the medical field, but I don't like none of that. I don't want to be a nurse. I don't want to draw
Mm-mm,
blood.
mm-mm.
I don't want to even take, your blood pressure. I just don't want that. And
Right, right,
this is
right,
definitely a
right.
good way for you to get into the medical field. You can still, like you said, be in the hospital, be in the dentist, have the environment, but then you're way removed, but you're
Hmm.
still part of the process. So would you say that's one of the things a
Yes,
lot of your students
yes.
really, really like about that?
Absolutely. And I think that it's not out there. Like people don't even realize that these jobs are there. When you think about the medical field, all you hear is doctors or
Yeah.
nurses or medical assistants or, CNA. And so, people don't think about, well, who's sending in my bills to the insurance company? How is this getting taken care of? So it's a hidden gem, I think.
I,
The whole field is a hidden gem. And absolutely my mom was a nurse, and I just knew that's not what I wanted. It's how I knew I needed to do medical or education because of the military situation. But I'll pass on all that. All that you just mentioned, the blood, the spit, the everything. I'll pass on all of that right there.
And most people do. And
Right.
that's okay. That's okay. Like
Yes,
you said,
yes,
it's a
yes.
hidden gem because I
Absolutely.
didn't know about it. You just know that you know your bill
Right.
gets paid and then you go back to another visit. But now being able to understand what goes on behind it. Another one of the things I want the gyms to know is that your classroom ratios are really good. In person is 6-1. And
Absolutely.
then online it's roughly 10 to
Hmm.
15 to 1. So you have the opportunity to really get to know the teacher. And like she said, she's really going to get to know you. She's reaching out to you, asking you how you're doing. And I can say, you know, I have nobody in any of my college or any of my classroom teacher wasn't reaching out to me once a week or even
Right.
bi-weekly to say, you know, Jewel, how are you
Right.
doing in class? Is there anything I can help you with? It was just like, I hope you figure it out and pass. Like, that's all I got
Right.
for you.
Right.
So the fact that you bring
Absolutely.
that extra ability to your students to say,
Hmm.
I'm available to you. Like, I care about you because this future is so bright. You can do whatever. I think that for me was like
Absolutely.
the finishing touch for that. Cause that's that care, that personal care that we all talk about, that we all want, that we don't often get. So kudos.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. So
Thank you.
you're so
Me
welcome.
too.
So, Gems, it's time for your financial gems. So, your financial gems for today are make and stick with a budget. Like she said, you got to have a budget if you want to do this. Stick to it. If this is
Mhm.
something you want to do, it's definitely feasible and something you can accomplish. Know where your money goes at all times. We say it, but as a financial specialist, and I talk to people and I'm like, what happened to the money this month? They're like, I don't know. I don't know is not a response. My mother would say that is not a appropriate response.
No.
You need to know where your money's going. And number three, do your research. Like she said, you know, I didn't know that this field even existed to the expansion of what it is. Do your research and find
Mhm.
out a little bit more about it, and you'll be blown away about all the things that you can do. Number four,
Mhm.
figure out what you're most passionate about and find a way to turn it into a career. Like Kisha said, she liked education, she didn't like the medical field, she didn't like this. She found a way to turn her passion and purpose into a career so she can give the most of her to everybody else. And
Yes.
finally, be personable, be memorable, and make sure your clients, your customers, your patients feel like their experience was worth their investment and their money. Awesome, awesome. So, Lakisha, it is our show custom to have every guest provide our gems with an inspirational quote. What is your personal inspirational quote you would like to share with us today?
So, our personal motto: quitting is not an option. Failure is a chance to learn.
I love that. I love that. Failure is a chance to learn because we always look at failure as just the end all be all, but there's always
No,
some lessons in that. I love it. I love it. I love
absolutely.
it. I love it. Thank you so much for being a guest on the show and being part of our journey.
Thank you for having me, really.
Thank you. You definitely provided so much. And I know my gyms are definitely going to love it and really just learn more about being a medical coder. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All right, gyms. Creating healthy financial habits is a lifelong commitment. Remember, without change, there be no butterflies. Changing habits, changing lives, and changing futures are all up to you. Until next time, gyms, take care.
Bye.